Getting involved with Enactus was one of the best things I did while I was at uni, so I was delighted to receive the email from Judy with the opportunity to share my Enactus experience with you. I studied my undergraduate degree in agricultural science and my PhD in animal breeding and genetics at the University of New England. For those of you that haven't been for a drive up the New England Highway, the University of New England is located about 6 hours north of Sydney. Whilst studying at UNE, I joined the Enactus team, almost by accident. I had the impression that Enactus was just for business students, and being a science student, I didn't think it was somewhere that I belonged. However, after my friend did me a favour and came to a social night at the pub with me, I did her a favour and agreed to go to an Enactus event. And I was hooked from day one to be surrounded by passionate young people committed to giving back to their university was just an uplifting experience. I initially joined Enactus as a team member. After being involved for about 12 months, I took on the position of project leader for the Farming Futures project. Whilst project leader, I also presented in the national competition twice. Getting involved in Enactus gave me the opportunity to develop a whole bunch of skills that there's no way I would have learned doing a science degree, and probably wouldn't have got exposure till several years into the workforce otherwise. A really good example of this from the Farming Futures project was stakeholder engagement. As part of the project, I had to learn to liaise with major agribusiness companies, university financial departments, sponsors, not-for-profit organisations, and that's not something that I would have done as a science student. Another key skill that I developed through being involved in Enactus was my project management skills. As part of the Farming Futures project, we were organising a sit-down dinner for a couple of hundred people, coordinating a careers fair, and I was overseeing a volunteer team of over 30 students. That's not something that you get in your first year in the workforce. Working with the Enactus team to write our national speech and then being a presenter really helped develop my communication skills and made me think about how best to deliver a message when you've got a really limited amount of time. One of the biggest surprises from my time at Enactus was the skills I developed in marketing and harnessing social media. They were invaluable for reaching out to potential stakeholders for the Farming Futures project. And now, surprisingly, as a research scientist, they are skills that are invaluable. I really didn't know what to expect when I went to my first nationals competition, which I imagine is the same for many of you now. But the energy and the excitement that was in the room, and to be surrounded by so many young people that were passionate about making a difference to their community just lit a fire within me. I also had the opportunity to do a couple of the training weekends up in Queensland, which were fantastic to relax and learn and get to know some of the other universities in a more casual environment. I think the highlight for me of being involved in Enactus was having the opportunity to represent Australia at the Enactus World Cup in Mexico in 2013. In 2012, I was fortunate enough to attend the Enactus World Cup in Washington, DC as a spectator. I was blown away by the change that students from around the world were having in their local communities. It also gave me a great insight into how Enactus UNE could better prepare for and showcase the good work that we were doing in the New England region. I feel like my experience as a spectator at the World Cup in 2012 really helped prepare me to go to the World Cup in 2013 as an Australian national champion team. I'm currently employed as a research scientist for Agriculture Victoria. However, I'm not really your typical researcher because only about 2/3 of my time is spent doing research. The other third, which is definitely my favourite bit, is in the industry engagement and extension side of things. The skills I developed in Enactus in communication and stakeholder engagement really helped me in this aspect of my role. I feel like my time with Enactus was a wonderful complement to my undergrad and postgrad studies, and I left uni as a much more well-rounded person than I would have been otherwise. And these skills that I developed through being a part of Enactus increased my employability and definitely helped me secure the position I have now.